I'm Dylan Hughes, and this is Drift Prep. Okay, well, that's as far as my brain let me go, all right? You got anything to add?
Sure. So, what do you do for transmission maintenance between rounds, or is there anything that you regularly break or have issues with?
With our transmissions we run, so this is a G-Force GSR. We run an Andrews A431 4-speed in our comp car, so they're very similar, but they are a little bit different. So what we have found is that depending on the track, if you do like big wheel speed upshifts, like if you have to upshift, say at a track like Atlanta, like coming back down the keyhole, you're much more likely to miss a shift or skip the faces of the dog rings, and I'll show you exactly what that means right here. So this is a dog box 4-speed. So what it does is it has two shift forks that slide these back and forth to engage it into first or second, and then that one comes out, and then it will go third and fourth. So these are the dog rings right here. So what it does, when you take these cars and you put the clutch in, you bang it into gear. The bang it into gear is basically the dog rings engaging, and it stops all the rotating mass of all the gears. So, and when you're shifting, you can potentially skip those faces of those dog rings, like I was saying. So the dog rings are definitely something that we need to keep an eye on, because once you lose the taper on the edge of that dog ring, it's potential that it could pop out of gear, and obviously that's a very bad thing. So with these wheel speed upshifts on these certain tracks, it's something that we need to keep an eye on, and the whole transmission has to come apart to replace those. But luckily for us, a purpose-built race transmission is fairly easy to work on. If you look at this thing, there's not a whole lot going on in there, and it's kind of a miracle that it holds 1,000 wheel horsepower in my eyes. Keep an eye on the dog rings. There's a handcuff in the middle that basically holds the two shafts together, so that, because when you run a lot of torque through it, it will start to push those, it'll flex the shafts and pull them apart. So we got a handcuff in the middle. Those need to be replaced about every year. Besides that, man, these things are pretty freaking bomber. That's about all we got. And then once you drive a dog box, you never want to drive anything else ever, because they're the best. Besides the dog rings and then besides the handcuff once a year, that isn't that big of a deal. In between every single round, we swap the fluid in the transmission. And you'll notice that with these dog engages, especially if you zing the faces of those dog rings, you can kind of get a bunch of metal floating around in there, which is absolutely a bad thing. So we replace ours. We run 75 140 royal purple in our transmissions. We've had excellent luck with it. So every single round, differential, transmission, and engine all get brand new fluid. So that's definitely pretty important too.
Okay. All right. Thanks for tuning in to Drift Prep.
And let's get back to the action.